Hello everybody, Jet here and welcome back to my Beastman Let's Play. Now right now we are bearing down on the forces of Bretonia, but we are at an end turn, so let's just blitz through this just now. But we are moving right in on Bretonia, the Bretonian armies, and we are moving back in on the kingdoms of man, having scourged them out of the southland deserts of Araby. The dwarves are now gone. And the Vamps want a non-aggression pact. Now these guys are not as powerful as they once were because of the aggression they've been having from Chaos. They are now in quite a bitter war with the Lizardmen as well. I do appear to have a little freeze here, guys, so let's hope this doesn't fall over. Okay, it didn't quite fall over there. I do seem to get a few freezes early on in this, but that's not because of a game. That's because I've got a really old PC, guys. So that is to be expected with how with my PC setup, guys. So don't see that as how the game is actually working at the well, it is how the game is working, but don't see it as that's an issue with the game. That's an issue with my old rig rather than the PC. So we've got the last defenders here who seem to be in a fairly heavy war, and said the vampires and the Lizardmen seem to be in a heavy war, and the Skaven are actually really nicely taking advantage of this and falling into the gaps on both sides. Now, I think both the Lizardmen and the vampires have taken quite a beating. I think the vampires did come off better, but well, as you can see, there's the Skaven have pushed into all the territory which fell over. No, but what I might offer is, you won't confederate with me, will you? Never mind. I think there are a few Beastmen herds wandering around doing quite well now because the world is in turmoil. It does look like Araby is slowly becoming consolidated by the Stygios Empire, and I mean, they're not pushing into the Lizardmen yet, and I don't think that's going to happen for a while because the Lizardmen are very powerful. There's still a little the Silver Host is still in the Lizardmen territory somehow. Okay, so now it's to start burning this coast.
Chosen himself, Archaon has been sighted. He leads us.
So the Ever-Chosen is here. He is my friend. He is my friendly chaos buddy there. Oh well, the Thanatartress is no more. Oh. I don't want to start raiding through the Vampire Lands just yet. Let's... oh, no. I want this guy to be running the attack. Ah, he can't quite reach. Never mind. Yeah, we get 8k from it, which isn't worth sniffing at. Right, so we did quite nicely there. We've got a couple of level ups to do. And so if you noticed, I'm pushing down the red trees far more here. The blue trees than the red trees. Right, what do we want to build with you then? Let's get you the Razorgore herds up as well. Okay. I think you've got all your spells. Okay, so our income's reasonable. We've got 4 good solid herds here, so we can cause a lot of damage to whoever we want now. I can still rejig those herds to make them more powerful, but the more powerful I make them, the more costly they make them. If I really needed to, even against the vampires, if I brought all my 4 herds together, I would probably be able to rip their empire apart to the point that to the point that other people would start pushing back into their territories because I'd weaken them so much. And I would force them to have to bring all of these armies down here back up north to deal with me if I did that. So that might be something we'll do, but I'm probably only going to do about 2 of my hordes. And as I said, I'm probably going to go exploring with my other hordes. Once we've dealt with Bretonia, my 2 of my hordes are probably going to start having a little play around in the vampire territories, and the other 2 will be going exploring through Ulthuan and down to Lustria, because I want to see what Lustria looks like on the Mortal Empires map, because I've not actually been down there yet in any of my campaigns. I don't think I've even had a look down there on anybody else's games yet, in the games I've been watching. I'm still intrigued as to what I'm going to find on Ulthuan. It's either going to be the Dark Elves or Bretonia, but I don't think Bretonia is powerful enough for me to see them there. So Clan Moors is actually gaining some power again. Estelia's... yeah, I don't think I really need to worry about Estelia, but they are probably going to recap behind me. Bretonia are really weak at the moment. No, not happening. So you can see here, there is a lot of friendlies. I want to know where clans get their Septic are over there. If they've somehow managed to make friends with all of the Lizardmen, I will be amazed, because that can't have happened. Right. Almost back to me.
Malagor of Karud.
Here we go, guys. And back into here. Now these places probably have quite good garrisons because they're the old elf places. And they've been pushing their way back through these forests, which are... they probably take damage as they go through. And they've rebuilt the Oak of Ages, which is intriguing. Because I don't know what other people can build there, unless they've rebuilt the Oak of Ages for themselves, which would be interesting. Though it does make sense. I mean, well, no, it doesn't really make a huge amount of sense, but lore-wise, the Oak of Ages helps protect against chaos, and while Bretonia aren't the elves, they do have some magic and links to the stuff they do, so the Woods of Athaloran are certainly very mystical to them. So I guess it's not a stretch to think they could have ended up pushing in and taking up with the remaining elves to try and protect it after I burnt everything down. Here's a vampire army. As I said, vampires don't seem to be having a good time with the chaos armies, which is hardly surprising because chaos are chaos. You know, they are very powerful here. Ooh, let's have a look. So I don't think Bretonia's capital is in there, so that is going to be either up the coast somewhere or they're going to have sailed off. Now it's possible that they're even up in Nausicaa or anywhere else in the Empire. To be fair, it's possible they're anywhere else on the map, but it's less likely. But I am wondering if Bretonia and the High Elves had a bit of a fight early on, or if they had one with the Dark Elves, if the Dark Elves pushed into Ulthuan. So they've got some territory over there, which would explain how they've managed to hold on, because the money from elsewhere would be keeping them going. But we'll just look to see if we can see a capital in our turn. Anyway, once we've cleared Athaloran, we'll just start burning our way north, and we can work out where they are then if needs be. The other thing I could do is I could take that military alliance with the vampires, then start just raiding through their territory until they break it with me. But that's not really the way to do it. But that would certainly show me all of their borders again. I'm surprised that little Chaos army is still actually managing to hold out. Well, these guys have actually become quite a little powerful force along here. However, they have been chomped into a bit by the vampires again as well. Oh, they blocked my army. But I don't think they blocked it enough. Oh, maybe they did. Oh, that is infuriating. Can we switch to raiding stance with both of these guys so they don't actually take losses? I can't with him. Right, we are going to push up this way. Hit here. If needs be, we'll send support that way. Otherwise, we'll come and burn around here, clearing out the last few places here. And Hexalotl, oh god, of a Lizardmen on Ulthuan. That could be interesting. Okay, and another end turn, guys. As I said, I do apologise in this campaign. I mean, it's nothing really to apologise for, but it is a whole lot of end turns in this campaign, which there really isn't a huge amount I can do about, unfortunately, guys. Simply because of the way it is, there's less to do in my turns. And some of these guys, as you can imagine, are starting to take a long time. The vampire counts are getting weaker and weaker and weaker as time goes on, guys. And they've got some big arms, and oh, well, we're going to find out if this is the last, Bretonian settlement next turn. I forgot to look if it was their capital, but I think the vampires have decided they're fed up with them hiding away in here. So Waterfall Palace is, I don't know, I think they've got places up here still, possibly. As I said, we'll have to see, but this land covered in vampiric corruption. I do like the way they do corruption in this game, the way the different factions change the terrain. So, for example, if the Bretonia capture terrain as well, even little things, it gets far greener woods than the Empire. The Empire gets sort of pine forests, whereas the Bretonia gets deciduous forests and things in certain areas. And as you can imagine, the Wood Elves get really foresty and woody places. I don't know if everybody does stuff like that to an extent, but I know certainly that there are a lot of changes depending on which faction holds things. Certainly there were in one. I assume that's probably the same way in this. Certainly it is with the with the vampiric corruption, because you can see the changes in the land for that, and for chaos corruption as well. Okay. So Skaven aren't doing badly. They are holding their own. As I said, I'm interested. I don't think they're at war with the vampires at the moment. I could be wrong. I'm nowhere near them, so I'm not particularly bothered about the alliances and things over there at the moment. They can do whatever they want to them on that front. And the Skaven are basically on the front line of a massive freeway war. I think they're, well, not freeway war, but I think both of these vampire factions are definitely at war with the Lizardmen. So there's quite a lot going on. Let's take the replenishment. Let's encircle. Let's bring up my other army, who will be in raiding stance. And let's burn this place. 28k. And that was not the end of Bretonia, guys. So, somewhere else, probably up north, Bretonia still have more settlements. We will go looking for them shortly. I'm hoping these guys actually settle somewhere at some point, so I think they'd be an interesting faction. Okay, a few bits of levelling up to do. And end turn. Now obviously we've taken a little bit of a beating there, but that's nothing too major. I'm not worried about losing Gauls. I can replace Gauls quickly. It's only large units I'm really bothered about losing. And we've got the capability to even replace them. We've got enough income standing by. So we're going to burn through here. We're going to go smash Skaven Blight. These guys will burn their way around the coasts and then work out where they're going from there. We might even just make the little, once we've burnt around there, we might make the little journey across to Ulthuan just to work out exactly what's going on over there in Ulthuan, and see if there's Hexalotl there. If Mazamundi is over there, we're at war with him, so we can pursue that war and start burning our way through Ulthuan. If the Lawmasters are there, we will do the same, and if Bretonia is there, we will definitely spend a lot of time burning through them. The Lawmasters have got places and are in odd places, so we'll have to see exactly where they are. I'm really surprised to find a Lizardmen faction, the Lizardmen here, if I'm honest, because that's quite out of the way for them actually. So we'll have to see exactly what they're doing there. I've got a feeling Nagarond and the Cult of Pleasure, because the Cult of Pleasure is about as powerful as me. I don't know how powerful Nagarond are, because I've not really had much to do with them, but I suspect we're going to find them being quite powerful. Okay, so the Skaven are pushing again there, and the Skaven have got all of these places they can cap, and they could cap all the way up here as well if they will really start pushing. And because people wouldn't know they're doing it, they could potentially get quite powerful while they're doing that. Okay, so we've just chased those guys from Telia off, who are probably going to come back and try and resettle afterwards. But they're dead. They know they're dead. They're a last little enclave of humanity. It's the last enclaves of untainted humanity sort of down and around here, and with wherever Bretonia is managing to just hold on for dear life. I don't even think we've got many Norscan factions left, which could be, certainly Norscan factions up north, which is why I'm kind of half wondering if that's where Bretonia is often hiding. But it's all of this in the middle of all this tainted land. You've got this lovely Bretonian tower. That's nice, because we've got our regen. They will get themselves back up to full HP very quickly. Raiding stance, please. Nice, easy victory there. A 7k for us. You can actually start beasts pathing down to Skaven Blight, which should be another nice expensive place for us to take. Then we'll take Tabaro and we'll push up here. And we are pretty much good. So right now it's finding the last bits of the last little bits of yeah, we're up buffing the Cygors. Oh, hang on. No, that's just me. Right, so right now it really is about finding the last remnants of Bretonia. And once we've found them, we will destroy them. We've just cleansed Athel Loren again, but it's, well, I say cleansed, it's now being thoroughly corrupted by the vampires. That's an interesting thing to have happened, because obviously they will be corrupting everything there as well, including they've built in the Oak of Ages, or they've captured the Oak of Ages, so I don't know what other factions gain from the Oak of Ages. That'll be something we'll have to find out if we play the Orcs next. We'll have to try and take Athel Loren at some point, obviously, and we'll see what happens if we get the Oak of Ages. Now, I'm assuming that Bretonia is up this way. Oh no, they could be going to Chaos, actually. I was thinking they're probably going to be heading towards Bretonia, but there are definitely Chaos armies up here as well. So they could well be going there. See, the Lawmasters are very weak, so I suspect they hold more than just there, but they're definitely not massively powerful. I'm a bit annoyed the Lawmasters got here back, actually, off the Skaven. Because I'm fairly sure the Skaven were holding that at some point. The Lawmasters must have just had an army hidden away somewhere. Telia is over here raiding its way through territory. That's going to be a... That's not going to... They're not going to have a city soon unless they capture somewhere soon. And they are a few turns away from being able to capture anything. Sorry, that's not Telia, that's Estelia. And the Skaven are beginning to expand again, which is good. Well, it's good for them. It benefits me simply because it stops it's kind of stopping all of these powers interfering with each other and getting too powerful, because to attack each other, to be fair, to attack each other now, they've got to push through the Skaven territory to get there, where they will start taking losses from corruption once the Skaven have spread there. And the Skaven are just... They're being cunning. I don't think they're getting too involved. They're letting everybody else do the fighting around them, and just taking advantage of the holes being pushed in this. The holes being created by this, which is a very Skaven thing to do, I guess. Let's keep going. I will find the remnants of Bretonia, and I will destroy them. Oh, I might have just overplayed my hand. We've got a good army here. I can deal with that. I will hopefully have the Bray Herd with me as well. We'll see. We could be about to get a good battle, guys. If they attack me. We shall see. Let's hope my Bray Herd can get close enough to support me. No, it didn't. We'll see what happens. So vampire counts are still losing power to me, compared to me. So they are taking hits here. As I said, once Bretonia is done, I'm probably going to link up with those Chaos armies, with a couple of my armies, and really start just start raiding to start with. But no, I'm going to start just taking settlements in their north where they're weaker, you know. So push up here potentially and just start cutting into their territory and cutting swathes through their territory, trying to avoid major battles and just causing as much damage as I can to them as quickly as I can, because that'll weaken them so other people can start taking bites out of them, which means because they're engaged in so many places, they can't necessarily send too many armies after me, and then, as happened with the dwarves, they will start tottering simply because they can't necessarily afford to keep going. Keep the armies they're currently maintaining to have their campaigns going. And I think that is literally what killed the dwarves when I cut through their centre. While they couldn't stop me because I was with all my herds together, and because they couldn't stop me, they lost all of their primary money generating settlements. You know, their income probably went down by at least half when I cut through them. So and then the vampires took advantage. They'd obviously had a peace treaty for quite a while. They'd not been at war, and then the vampires took advantage of their weakened state and just, as you saw, ripped through the dwarves. So yeah, he's going to come back and try and cap again. They're not fighting me, interestingly. I'm surprised by that. So we might have a little bit of a back and forth around here while we finish these guys off, but hopefully it won't take too long. Still not happening, mate. One day he will realise I'm not going to give him any sort of peace treaty or non-aggression pact. Maybe. Okay, so we've got these refugees who've still not settled. They're at war with me as well still. They did offer peace, but I wasn't going to accept it. Look at this settlement. So this is a Skaven. This is one of the traditional Skaven settlements, you know, from the game's lore. So we'll have this Bray Herd with us next turn, which is quite powerful. So actually, these guys... Ooh. No, I'm not going to attack that. I'm going to move up here, and then I'm going to go into encampment stance. I want to try and trap that other little army. Where is Bretonia? It might be up here, or as I said, they might have other places up there somewhere. We'll have to find out. As I said, I'm managing to maintain my income at the moment. Well, I'm not burning it off too quickly. But we'll have to see exactly where Bretonia are. I mean, give it too long and I will have to start a war with the vampires because I will burn through my money. What I kind of suspect is I'm going to find there's other superpowers throughout the world. I think there's kind of a Lizardmen Confederation down here. I think we'll find with outposts elf everywhere. And I think we'll find that the Dark Elves certainly hold all, I would imagine, hold all of Nagarond, as well as a few other places, but we'll have to see just how powerful they are. The Warriors of Chaos are slowly waning, but they're not doing badly. Okay, so Hexalotl is about as powerful as me, but the thing I'm not think with them is they've probably doing quite well because they've been slowly confederating with other people. So I think they're probably reasonably powerful. But again, I don't think anybody quite compares to the vampires at the moment. Though I don't know how big Nagarond is. As I said, we'll have to see with them. But it's gonna be an interesting one when I find out what's over there and how powerful everybody is. It could be a few glorious battles. So Skaven are actually taking on the Lizardmen and clearing them out of the mountains up here now as well. So, as I said, I don't think I gave the Skaven enough of a chance. I was not expecting the Skaven to stay alive for as long as they have. So they've fallen back again, but we'll be trying to trick them out next turn. Oh, we have a Chaos Army which has popped up here. So a little random Chaos Rebellion has occurred there. I think with me running around and with Chaos running around, there's quite a lot of Chaos corruption spreading through the lands. And especially with all the different types of corruption around these lands, I think the humans are having a few issues. It's still not happening, mate. So eventually they might settle somewhere, but I don't think they're going to do it anytime soon. Which horde lost you? It's not looking like they're up here. I've not checked along this coast, I guess, but I think I'd have seen. It's not literally this army.
What you ask is impossible.
You can go into encampment stance. You can keep sieging. I'm going to wait until my siege equipment is ready. Got a bit of siege equipment going before I hit here. I might need to bring the other army down. If these guys all turn around, though, this Chaos Army should help. I don't know why I'm looking down here. See, if he's gone, I don't know where. They're either going to be along here where I've not looked, holding on in one tiny little place, but I suspect I'd see it in one of the edges of these. For they are saying unknown. or they're just going to have a little territory up here. But they could even, I said in one campaign I've got, they've been spreading, they were spreading up here. But again, from here they could have got little colonies almost anywhere, so we'll have to see. We're just hunting Bretonians at the moment, guys, so this might even be a point where I start just spew a few random agents out, random heroes out, just to spread them around the map to try and find out what's going on and where people are. Because even, I mean, they could have territory anywhere up here, but again, they're not big. They've probably got, I reckon they've got one, maybe two little territories around the place, guys, which once I find, oh, and they're gone. So somebody found them for me, guys, which I think means that well, I think that means that we're going to be able to play the final battle against mankind soon. So that will be a very fun one, guys, which we'll have to get looking at shortly. Right, let's see what the last defenders are doing to fend off Skaven. Probably not much. Again, I think they got a bit too much of the bloody nose off the vampires. And I said I think this, and so Skaven have really taken advantage of that brief scuffle they had, and now they're sitting nicely in the middle, while they're potentially could get crushed by both of them if they both get fed up of them. For the moment, they're doing quite well off of it. And considering a few sessions back, I thought they were done for. I think they've come out quite well, made quite a nice comeback. Still not happening. Oh wow. So yeah, the Lizardmen are off colonising the world. They're colonising, let's be honest, the corrupted wastes of the old world now, which is what is up here, guys. Let's not lie. Okay, so we now have the battle for the fall of man here. So the dark gods are pleased. Mankind is ravaged. They have been taunted, hunted, and broken by the children of chaos. The land is ripe for an ever greater invasion, for other followers of Varuvna's powers to make their mark. As paltry as it will be compared to the triumphs of the Cloven Ones, yet there remains defiance. The armies of man-filth muster as one, refusing the inevitable, no matter. This is but another opportunity for the Beastmen to prove themselves the most worthy of the Dark Powers. Servants, find this gathering of might and ensure the fall of man. And with that, guys, we will be ending this session, and we'll be doing that battle in our next session. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it.